Hello and welcome to a Zwift podcast special where we're going to look at the Zwift Academy. It's me and Kev today. So where in the world are you today, Kev?
Hi, Matt. Yeah, I'm actually up here in Andorra on an altitude camp, but coincidentally, I'm here with the 2016 Zwift Academy winner, Leah Thorvilson. So I guess it's quite ironic, or in some ways that it shows that you can go from Zwift Academy to training all over the world and doing amazing training camps such as this.
Absolutely. I'm sure you're making some of our listeners envious. Zwift Academy offers you the chance to train like a pro and maybe even become one. There's the Tri Academy, which is for triathletes, but is currently closed for applications. But there are two road Zwift Academies that are currently open for sign-up. So if you haven't signed up already, you may fancy checking it out. So yeah, the two road Zwift Academies are the Canyon SRAM Zwift Academy for women, which will see one female applicant turn pro with the Canyon SRAM team, and also the Team Dimension Data Academy, which is for men and results in one under 23 male rider earning that pro contract with Team Dimension Data's under 23 squad. So I say, looking on the women's side, you've got Tanja and Leah. So Leah, who you mentioned, Kev, and you actually coach Leah, right?
That's right.
They're the winners of the Zwift Academy, the Canyon SRAM Zwift Academy, for the last 2 years, and have literally gone from kind of enthusiasts to World Tour pros overnight. Kev, you caught up with Leah, right?
That's right. Yeah, I had a talk to Leah yesterday, and I guess we should listen to her interview and have a chat about it afterwards.
Sounds good. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. I'm up here with Leah Thorvilson, the winner of the 2016 Zwift Academy. We're going to have a quick chat to Leah about how it's changed her life and what all the experiences are. So Leah, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. Very happy to be in Andorra.
Yeah, well, let's talk about where we are first. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. I've just arrived up here for my first altitude camp ever, and the drive up from Girona was just breathtaking, and I'm just soaking it all in. It's kind of hard to believe I'm here.
Good to hear. Yeah, well, I guess that's the main point, and the easy question is, how has Zwift Academy changed your life?
It has made my life completely, it's a 180 from where I was 2 years ago. Just had started cycling, was working a regular full-time job, in and out of an office all day, and Zwifting at 4 o'clock in the morning to get in my workouts. And now I'm living in Girona, Spain, and instead of kind of life fitting around training, or training fitting around life fits around training. So, and I've been to more countries than I can probably name without stumbling right now. And like I said, now up here in Andorra, I'm going to experience altitude training and everything is different. Everything is different. Raced with the best women in the world. You know, I didn't actually grow up following cycling very much. I mean, I watched the Tour de France, but in the US, unfortunately, it's not as huge a sport. So if you're not in a family that's done it forever, which I wasn't, I didn't grow up with that kind of background. So when people ask who are your idols or who are your role models, it's my teammates, which I think is just the coolest thing. Who gets to experience being a part of, learning what they love from their role models. Yeah,
great. Well, let's talk about training for a moment. So obviously you've experienced a wide range of training, but in terms of Zwift Academy and what participants can expect to experience in the training there, what was your experience going through Zwift Academy in 2016?
Zwift Academy for me was great because, put aside the whole fact of how that ended up playing out for me, at the time, I was just getting on in the morning and riding for a couple of hours every day. And there was nothing wrong with that. It was just something I did to stay fit. But I didn't have any idea where to even begin if I were to want to do a structured session. I knew what structured workouts looked like in running. I didn't have any clue where to begin. So it gave me, ideas and kind of the concept and the understanding of what training as a cyclist looks like. So I think for anybody looking to raise their fitness level and just be motivated to see where they can go and how much stronger they can get, how much faster they can get, it gives you those plans. And I think then whether Zwift Academy leads to semifinals and finals and a pro contract for you, or whether you're just someone who's going to go and race a criterium or a road race locally, you've got a fitness base you didn't have before, and you have access to all the plans, you know, not just the Zwift Academy plan, but I had just never even opened up all the workouts that are at your fingertips. I just didn't even go and look and understand what they were. So I think introducing that concept to people on Zwift who in the past have maybe done races or maybe just got on and ridden, it's like, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, sure. And tell me about going through Zwift Academy. What was the community like? Is it a good feeling to it? Is it
so positive? And you know, I've said a few times lately, it's really, I've been really involved. I'm doing the community management now for the current Zwift Academy, which just kind of means I'm getting involved and watching out for questions and trying to be helpful to the new Zwift Academy riders. And it's really not only taken me back to fond memories of my time at Zwift Academy, but also, you know, it's as wonderful as this whole experience has been for me. I can't say that it's been all easy. I mean, the life is wonderful, but the competition's been very hard. It's hard on your confidence when you're constantly just trying to tread water and you're so far behind. So being able to step back into Zwift Academy, it's, you know, people are saying, thank you for all your help. And I'm like, no, really, thank you. Like, it's given so much back to me because it's hard to feel useful sometimes when your level is, you're trying so hard to play catch up. So it's like, I feel useful for the first time in a long time. Like, I feel like I'm really helping other people. So the community there, and I mean, and I've only gotten the opportunity so far to do one ride with these girls. So that's purely the community feel and support I'm getting off the Facebook page. You know, it's just, it's so positive, and I see daily, you know, women get on there talking about how they crushed a workout, but also talking about how a workout has crushed them. And the ones where they've been crushed, you see 65 comments from the other riders encouraging them or telling them things maybe they could do to make it feel better the next time and not to give up. Like, it's so positive. It's just really great.
Well, let's talk about the workouts for a moment. And you mentioned there that maybe you're not going to be successful in all the workouts. What advice can you give to participants in doing the best in the sessions and providing the coaches with the best possible data?
Yeah, do the best that they can. I mean, and this has actually been a topic that's come up is, you know, if they can go harder, should they go to their max? And my advice there is there's going to be workouts that call for that ask you to give your max. So stay within the range. Don't beat yourself up over not getting every star. I mean, I can tell you that I didn't get every star. I tried to and get through all the sessions, get the benefit of all 10 sessions. I think you will find that if one is really, really a struggle for you, there will be another one that's a struggle for someone else that's not a struggle for you. So you have to just look at what that means and grow from it. You know, there's a reason people they are better at different systems. So learning, okay, well, so I need some work in this area, but that doesn't mean you're a failure or that you're not going to be a good cyclist. It just means that's the area where you can progress the most. So you kind of have to treasure those sessions. The ones that are easy, they're great as well because they help you build confidence and keep your mentality positive, but you grow the most from the ones that hurt. So get through them all, you know, is another question that's come up a lot is it okay if I don't get all the stars? Yes. Yeah. Get through them. And then if there's one that you think, well, it just really bothers me that I didn't even get half the stars for that workout, get through all 10 and you can go back and do those other ones later and try to do better the next time around. Yeah, that's good advice. So the key point there is if you do fail a session, don't beat yourself up about it. Yes. It just means that might not be your strength in the area. Yeah. If you think that professionals don't ever fail sessions, you're wrong. Oh, absolutely. Zwift sessions and real life sessions. Bad days happen. So just don't let it think, you shouldn't have done this. You should. And it's going to end up being a positive experience in the end, regardless of how many stars you got. So, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So Zwift has been part of your training to get to this point. Yeah. Have you been using Zwift in the future since you've made it to the leading question, because you know the answer. I know the answer. So. My coach knows the answer. But and it's been really actually interesting to see, because in my first year, you know, I was obviously went from Zwifting 95% of my training was on Zwift to 95% out, and part of that was at that point I really needed a crash course in the roads. But now that, I mean, I certainly won't, I still can gain massive experience in both arenas, but now that I've somewhat leveled out hours on the road and hours on Zwift, it's very structured. So I still will do blocks where typically it's double. It's not just Zwift and no road time, but a lot of days where, you know, maybe I have a hard session on Zwift and then some volume in the afternoon, or maybe volume on Zwift and then a hard session outdoors. But we mix it in, and there's definite benefits to be had for all levels of athletes. It's the convenience of Zwift is amazing, because it makes something possible for people whose schedules wouldn't otherwise allow it. But it also is a very powerful training tool, even for people who have the time leveraging to be able to only be outdoors. Zwift is still valuable.
Sure. So the main point there is that you love those double sessions, don't you?
I do. I actually do.
Good. That's good to hear. It's on record now. That's good. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Have you ridden the new Innsbruck Worlds course yet?
I've ridden the short loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not with the big climb though.
Well, is the big one? It's an 8K climb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I've done that loop. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a challenge. I think I've done it 4 times maybe. And with groups, it takes a concerted effort to keep a group together, because people have different abilities, and that's perfectly fine. But it is really fun if you can get a group to the top together to go barreling down that hill, because we, that you get momentum from a big group of folks. So we had people just trying to hit 100 kilometers an hour, and it's really impressive what they've done. I saw a video the other day that was showing, video of the course side by side with the Zwift course. And, because I haven't seen the Innsbruck course in real life, but it's pretty impressive. It's actually really impressive.
It is,
how much it looks just the same.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And what's the future holding for you? What's coming up for you?
Well, a little bit of uncertainty, but I've got a few. I've got a race potentially, Ladies Tour of Holland. I'm on reserve. We unfortunately had a few riders injured at the Giro, so depending on how quickly their comeback is, I may or may not be racing there. If not, then I'm doing Tour Féminine l'Ardèche in the middle of September. And then just recently found out I've also had the Tour of Guangxi, China, added to my calendar. So I think there's some back and forth in the pro peloton of people wanting to do it because it's a cool race, but also it's after Worlds, so a lot of people are ready for their break. But I won't be at Worlds, so for me it's just getting to experience another race and getting experience in new country. It's all win for me, so I'm really excited about that.
It's all part of the whole cycling package, isn't it? The travel, the countries you see,
and I'm actually going to go. I have to leave Europe. So I'm actually going to go home and do another altitude camp. Phil Guyman is a friend of mine, and he's, I'm going to stay at his place in Big Bear and do another little altitude block before China. So I'm really getting spoiled, I must say, in this last few months of training, just because for me, training hard and being in new places and enjoying training hard and new terrain, and that's life. I mean, it's hard work, but I can't tell you I'm not enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, well, look, I can say you are the ultimate professional. You do everything's asked of you, plus more, and you give back to the community as well. So, on a serious note, congratulations on what you've achieved so far, and thanks for speaking to us today, and good luck in the future.
Thanks so much.
Lovely. Well, a couple of things I loved about what Leah mentioned there was the advice about, you don't need to nail every workout. You don't have to get all the gold stars, and it's not expected that you feel good every session, and to not be too hard on yourself. I really, really like that, Kev.
Yeah, that's the key point that I got from that one as well. And it was something that kind of surprised me as well, the emphasis on completing sessions, and I guess the nervousness of not completing those sessions. So it really shows that the training is hard but achievable. And I guess in some ways, maybe they don't have a real gauge of how they're faring with their counterparts throughout the academy. So, you're in there training day in and day out, and you might be completing sessions and you might be missing a few sessions, but I guess the main point there is just keep going, keep doing your best in each session, and you just never know where you're going to come out the other end with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it's you against everyone else who's competing. You are kind of competing in that sense, but it's also very much like a personal challenge. And not everyone wants to drop their current careers and their lifestyles and turn pro. For a lot of people, I think it's a case of just being able to get a feel for what it's like to train like a pro. I mean, a lot of the sessions, if not all the sessions, Kev, did you created the Zwift Academy training plans?
Yes, myself and Elliot Lipsky, we've done the training plans for 2018 Zwift Academy. And the thinking behind the plans is that, first of all, we're trying to find the best suitable rider to turn professional. So they have to be hard sessions, and there's no denying some of them are. So some of the sessions are based on us collecting valuable data on the athletes. And then some of the sessions are all about having fun and gaining fitness. So we sort of hit both bases there, I think.
Yeah, good stuff. And that kind of fun and fitness element, that kind of ties into what Leah mentioned about the Zwift Academy community and the role she now plays there, which is fantastic. It's not, as we said, it's not all about becoming pro, but it's also being part of that community, groups on Facebook with other like-minded people, all sharing that common experiences, all working to become fitter people primarily, and better cyclists. That's just pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a massive community, and people, they definitely aren't isolated throughout the Zwift Academy. So there's that whole community to tap into and share stories and feedback on the sessions and how they're progressing and ask questions. So yeah, you certainly aren't isolated out there. So definitely tap into that resource.
Good stuff. And say, if you're like me, I've signed up for the academy, but I haven't actually done my first session. So this is going to give me a kick of the backside to do my first session. I mean, there's still time. So if you're in that same camp as me, still time. Get stuck in and get the ball rolling. So there's again, that's a little bit of a chat we had there, or Kev, you had with Leah, who obviously was the Zwift Academy champion 2016. I caught up with the 2017 champion, Tanja Erath. Here's my chat with Tanja. Okay, I'm here with Tanja Erath, the Zwift Academy winner 2017. Hi Tanja, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Just came back from training. Good day. It's a good start in the day.
Good stuff. You had was it a hard session today or?
No, it was just I don't know how you say it in English, like a fasting session or like a fasting workout.
Okay.
Having a breakfast.
Trying to lose a little bit of weight. Yeah,
exactly.
Fasting. Yeah. Fasted ride. Yeah. Cool. So, Tanja, you won you were the Zwift Academy winner 2017.
Correct.
Well done. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
What was that? Just want to tell us a little bit about the process from application through to winning. How did that all go?
Well, it started a little bit earlier, later last year than it starts this year. It was, I think, the 22nd of September. So I applied around, beginning of September. And I still worked at that time, but it was like my last weeks in the final year of studying. So I knew that I really have time for at least like the first, I think it was 5 weeks. I'm not really sure right now. I think 5 weeks and 15 sessions. So then it was like this 5 weeks, 15 sessions, 8 workouts, 2 races and 5 group rides. And it was my first time on Zwift because I didn't use it before. I never had a turbo trainer. I borrowed one from a friend. And that's how I started. So I started Zwift actually for the Zwift Academy.
Awesome. So you've done all those sessions, and after the 5 weeks, what happened then?
Well, then it was sitting, waiting, wishing, and just like waiting who's make it to the semifinals. A lot of Strava stalking from the numbers from the other girls, and on the other hand, I had my final exams, so a lot of learning that kind of helped my mind healthy. So I didn't think too much about Zwift Academy. And then I got the mail that I made it to the semifinals. and then another tough 2 weeks began.
Got you. And in those 2 weeks, that was tough in terms of sessions on Zwift from your home?
It was 7 sessions in 2 weeks, 3 outdoors and 4 indoor sessions.
Okay.
And yeah, for me, it was a little bit tough because it started on the 1st of November till the 14th of November. And I had my final exams at the 7th and 8th. So it was a little bit of a balance act to do the sessions well and don't screw up the exam. And then I got sick in the first week, so I couldn't do any sessions in the first week, and then I did all 7 sessions in the second week. So that was then a little bit intense. Intense.
Wow, that is intense. And at the end of that, you won, and you become a pro bike rider with the Canyon SRAM cycling team.
Yeah, then first there were the finals. So 3 made it to the finals, and we went to training camp together with the Canyon SRAM.
Oh wow!
And then we had some lead out sessions. We did another race on Zwift, and just see how we get along with the girls, how we get along with the stuff. And then at the end of the training camp, it was in the beginning of December, 1st till 5th, I think, they told us who won, and that was me.
Awesome. And how did you celebrate?
Actually, not really. Like I took the train home and told my boyfriend that I won, and he was like, not really happy about it because that meant I'm moving to Spain. So yeah, like the celebration was pretty short, but I felt very happy about quite a long time, I think, till now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. And you were, before you joined on the Zwift Academy, you rode a bike, but you've only kind of been a cyclist, let's say, for a couple of years. You were into triathlon before that, correct?
That's correct, yeah. 15 years. I started when I was 11 and practiced triathlon till I was 26. 26, and you've been cycling for the last couple of years. And what would your tip be for anyone applying for Zwift Academy? Any kind of tips there, or any advice? Because obviously there's a lot of hard graft in your garage, and I guess there's tendency people can feel maybe a little bit isolated and they get up against it, and I haven't got a chance of winning this. What would your tips be? Well, I think the first tip is if you're not sure if you should apply or feel scared about applying, just do it, because you can't lose anything.
Yeah.
You can just win something, and it's a good experience, even though you do not do all the sessions and you don't complete it. I mean, some sessions are fun, some sessions are challenging, some sessions are just tough. The group rides are fun. The races are super, super fun, even though they kill you.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I can just be so, or push so hard being alone in my room. But the Zwift races really make you push hard. And I think then the other tip that I'd have for somebody who already applied and is doing the Zwift Academy, don't worry too much. I think when I look back, I was so worried. And as I said, Strava stalking a lot, checking those numbers, and it doesn't change anything. It's just it's not in your hand. So, I mean, you can do the sessions as good as you can, and then it's out of your hand. Yeah. So don't worry too much, and listen to some good music while you're doing the sessions. That will help, or it always helped me. And what I did when I had really upcoming challenging sessions, I just watched some videos from Leah or videos from the team just to remind myself how much I want to do that, and what could happen if I make it to the team. Yeah. And I think that was good for having a good mindset before starting some of the sessions. Yeah, absolutely. I guess focus on you, isn't it? Because you can't change what other people do. So just do your best. And obviously life now. You say you moved to Spain. You're a professional bike rider with Canyon SRAM. What's that experience like? Overwhelming most of the times, and I think really I will be able to process everything that happened when the season is over and I have some weeks off, because it's just I mean, I'm traveling, I'm racing. It's just like constant being somehow on the edge because everything is so new to you, and everything is just, like overwhelming. Like every single little thing that happens, suddenly you do your first World Tour race, and then you do your first intermediate sprint in a World Tour race.
Yeah.
Just like working with the Swannies, having some mechanics taking care of your bike, all that. I mean, I haven't been used to that. I just took care of my own bike, and suddenly there are people like taking care of you, and you have to get used to that too. And you have to like take yourself back and let them do that because that's their job. And I think I'm not really good at that, but I'm working on it.
Awesome. And what's your next race with the team?
I mean, I'm reserved for some upcoming races, but I hope that nobody gets sick and nobody crashes. So I hope that I will stay reserved for them, and not because I wouldn't like to race, but I hope my teammates stay healthy. And then I'm doing Ardèche in the middle of September. It's like a 7-day tour. And then the World Tour race in China in October. That's it. And I think I'm doing some track racing in the winter. Looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, you say it's a bit busy lifestyle over the world. You know, Ardèche, China, a bit of track racing. That is really, really frantic. Well, Tanja, good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to chat.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. Well, I think off the back of that, I think one thing that kind of resonated with me is that going back 10 years or so in the UK, you know, we had a handful of pro men and women competing at the highest level in the pro scene. Now, I couldn't even name them all. There's so many more routes, so many more pro athletes, British pro riders. And there's so many more routes to go in pro. And I think Zwift Academy is a great example of that, you know, taking raw talent from the garage to the pro peloton.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a legitimate way to turn professional now. So, like you say, I was the same actually. Like, back in Australia, there was only a handful of pros and everyone knew their names. But now, you know, there's 20 or 30 Australian pros overseas, and it's hard to keep track of all of them. But now there's another alternative to going through the Institutes of Sport system or through the professional pathway. So, Zwift Academy is definitely a legitimate pathway to the pro ranks.
Yeah, I mean, and Tanja mentioned there, you know, how this is the true pro experience. She's got a mechanic taking a bike and servicing it, keeping it in pristine condition, you know, traveling all over the world. I think Leah also mentioned it. You know, she's never traveled so much. She's kind of been to so many different countries. It's just been a all round fantastic experience. So for anyone out there who's thinking, you know, is this for me? Just give it a go. Would be my advice, Kev. I mean, you know, get stuck in with the training. You have a chance of becoming a pro bike rider and literally changing your life. But at the very least, you're gonna get a feel for what it's like to train like a pro, and you're certainly going to see a bump in your fitness and cycling capabilities, I'd think.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have fun, and this is exactly how professionals train. So the sessions that you're going to complete, they're the same sessions that professionals do. So there's no secrets out there in training anymore these days. Everyone's doing the same kind of thing. So it's good for people in their own homes to be able to train like a professional and also receive feedback on that as well.
Absolutely. I was saying with the wealth of, you know, information and data everywhere, you know, if you Google training, you know, there's so much stuff comes up, you know, so it's so accessible. And on Zwift, it's all kind of, you know, condensed, all the theory, all the science. It's there for you in, you know, simple, plain English. The sessions are already populated. You just got to clip in, put the hard work in, turn those pedals, and you're gonna train smartly and become a better bike rider.
Yeah. Well, speaking of data, I think the last count there was something like 4,000 women signed up for Zwift Academy this year. So that's a lot of data we're going to collect, which is amazing.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, how do you kind of condense those? All that data and what do you do with it?
Well, we're using today's plan, and they make it very easy to extrapolate the kind of data that we're looking for. But then leading back to the training sessions that we're doing, there are some key sessions where participants are given the opportunity to produce their best power for different durations. And those durations we're looking for are 20 seconds, 1 minute, 4 minute, and 10 minute. So those kind of ranges allow the athlete to fill in what we call the power duration curve. And from that, we can see their strengths and perhaps their weaknesses as well, or areas to work on. And we get a good gauge of what kind of rider we have in front of us there as well, and how they rank amongst the 4,000 women as well.
Good stuff. And I think Tanja mentioned the kind of the final step was the final was there's three riders who were selected to kind of come together for a residential camp. What can Zwifters expect to happen on that camp when there's 3 of you left?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 or even a few more this year, but I guess from seeing the data come in remotely, it's then a good chance to see the participants on the road, out there riding their bike, look at the skills, also their race tactics, tactical knowledge is a big part of it as well. So yeah, the first part, the data, gets you to the next stage, and then once we're out on the road, we then look a bit closer and start to think about how are these people going to be at racing at a professional level. There
we go. There we have it. Well, again, just a final comment from me, Zwift Academy, a fantastic opportunity for anyone out there who is Zwifting. Just even if you just jump on and do the sessions and just get a feel for what it's like to train smartly under the guidance of none other than Kev Poulton. Thanks. Good chatting about the Zwift Academy, Kev. I guess chat to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.